The Blaze. Truth lives here.
The failure of our immigration system has many costs. We often talk about the financial costs. We talk about the political costs. But too often times the human costs are overlooked. Most Americans have never heard of a sanctuary city, nor have they fallen victim to the hordes of criminally illegal aliens allowed to run free because local law enforcement officers are not permitted, even discouraged, from arresting known illegal aliens for violation of immigration laws. In a nutshell, sanctuary cities openly engage in practices that protect illegal immigrants. First initiated in 1979 in Los Angeles, to prevent police from inquiring about the immigration status of arrestees, there was an internal policy called Special Order 40. This policy was implemented. It's amazing to me because it's actually still in play today. But basically what the policy says is, quote, officers shall not initiate police action with the objective of discovering the alien status of a person. Officers shall not arrest nor book persons for violation of Title 8, Section 1325 of the United States Immigration Code, basically illegal entry into the U.S. Policies like this have real-world consequences. Now, sanctuary cities started in L.A., and it's now estimated there's over 30-plus cities in America that harbor these kinds of policies. In California, 13% of the total state prison population are illegal aliens. That translates to about 21,000 people who've committed crimes against citizens, and now they're draining taxpayer money to the tune of $1 billion a year to pay for it. By the way, about 14,000 of those folks, that's two-thirds, are from Mexico. That's according to Immigration and Customs Enforcement. A lot of people like to argue that illegal immigration is a victimless crime, but these aren't just statistics. Each instance represents a real crime with real victims. In Los Angeles, illegals make up as much as 25% of the jailed population, costing the taxpayers $500 million a year. That's when they're locked up. That doesn't include the other costs. Joining me today is Jamiel Shaw Sr. He's here to tell the story of his son, Jamiel Shaw II. He was a rising high school football star who lost his life at the hands of an illegal alien gang member with a rap sheet a mile long. This guy was released from the LA County Jail instead of being handed over to immigration authorities for deportation, thanks to sanctuary city policies. Jamiel Sr. joins me today to share his story. Thank you for joining me, Jamiel.
Thank you for inviting me.
So please tell me about what happened to your son, because a lot of people are unaware of your son's story and what happened to him in 2008 as he left his home and was walking down the street in Los Angeles.
Yeah, pretty much it was a Sunday afternoon starting there. We had went to a football training up in Pasadena City College. They had a system that was designed for the kids who had a chance at going Division I prospects. So they would train you, get you ready so you can get the scholarships. So we did the training that day. On the way home, he asked me could he go to the mall. And, of course, I ignored him because I didn't want him to go. You know, it's a little scary out there sometimes. But he's 17 years old, so you got to give him some leadway. Never been in any trouble. So I told him, okay, you can go and be home by 7. Make a long story short, I called him about 7. He wasn't home. He told me, oh, yeah, Dad, we're on the bus. You know, we're safe, because he knew that was my main concern. We're safe. I said, okay, I'll call you in an hour. Called him in an hour, asked him, hey, where are you? Hey, right around the corner, Dad. Be there in about 2 or 3 minutes. Whew, you know, it was a sense of relief. I feel like, whew, made it home, you know. And then a couple of seconds later, I heard 2 gunshots, really loud and really crispy. And people who know about guns know, you know, the crispiness can tell you how close it is. And I could tell that it was right out there, right where he should be. Called his cell phone, didn't answer. I had already inside, I could just tell my whole body felt different. And I realized that he had got shot. And I remember on the way outside, I remember saying, "Oh man, God, I hope he's not dead." I went outside and peeked down the street to take a look. There he was, laying in the street, dead, already dead, already dead.
That's something that is every parent's worst nightmare. And besides the fact that it was tragic enough that he was killed, but he was killed by an illegal alien gang member who'd been arrested multiple times in Los Angeles and should have been deported. I mean, he shouldn't even have been here. This guy, Pedro Espinosa, was part of some notorious gang in L.A., and because of Special Order 40, what I'd mentioned earlier, and sanctuary city policies like that, the Los Angeles police didn't hand him over to ICE to have him kicked out of here. Now, you and your family and supporters of Jamiel Shaw, you guys have been pushing for legislation to help change laws like this. How's that been going for you in California? Because I know that I met you guys in 2008 during the Ramos and Compián deal back then that ended at least in their commutation. But that's when I first heard of your story. And I see that there's been several things that have happened since then as far as trying to get these laws changed. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, it's hard. People, like you say, California, sanctuary city. So, it's extremely hard to get anything done. But we have a law that we're trying to get passed in Los Angeles called Jamiel's Law that would deport illegal alien gangs straight off the top. If you're a legal alien and you're in the gang, then you have to get deported. We also have a law that, matter of fact, we have a bill now in Washington, D.C., that's called H.R. 1888, which would report the illegal aliens, keep track of them so we know where they are. Because they've been released, no one has no idea what's going on. They're put back into our communities, and they're killing our kids, and it's unacceptable, and we're going to do something about that.
You would think that would be common sense, that why would it take something like this, literally an act of Congress, to enforce a law, something that would be as easy as you're here illegally, you've committed crimes on top of that, violent ones, you should get the hell out, be kicked out. Why are we paying for it? And something else that's interesting about your fight, because you guys put a different face on it. You're not the Midwest white male claiming to be, against immigrants, that you're a xenophobe, you don't want immigrants here. That's not the case at all. As an African American in Los Angeles, there is a kind of an unspoken animosity between blacks and browns that no one wants to talk about when it comes to illegal immigration. When I read up on the trial of this Pedro Espinosa, who was convicted and sentenced to the death penalty, by the way, do you know how many articles I had to read before they mentioned he was an illegal alien?
Oh man, yeah. They even had a hearing in court because so that's why you never heard it in court. They petitioned the judge to not mention it, and we couldn't even mention it at all in the whole trial. They even fought for his mother, who was a sergeant in the Army. They fought for her not to wear her uniform in the court, but the judge overruled it. They didn't want no mention of the U.S. Army or illegal immigration. Unbelievable.
That's in this country, in America. Well, we're out of time, but I applaud you guys. My heart goes out and prayers go out to you and your family. Thank you to your wife for her service, and we'll keep fighting for Jamiel's Law.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for keeping it going.
Thank you.
Okay.